The wedding of the 21st century. There's a group of Soviet forces in Germany protesting against air pollution in 1989. A Palestinian shepherd is pouring oil on a sheep's head. This happened in Palestine in the early 20th century. Shepherds used to anoint their sheep's heads with oil to protect them. It kept away harmful insects that would bother their ears and eyes, or lay eggs in their nostrils. This is a picture with Father Christmas. It's from 1920. An East German guard throws a ball back to a child playing on the West German side of the Berlin Wall in 1962. A bolt of lightning strikes the Eiffel Tower. The year was 1906. There's a Navajo medicine man from 1904. Future President Gerald Ford is with teammate Willis Ward at the University of Michigan in 1934. Ford threatened to quit the team when Ward was benched for a game against Georgia Tech, who at the time refused to play against black players. A bicycle-powered gas station in an area left without electricity after a hurricane in Connecticut, 1938. Soviet civilians in Moscow are hearing the radio announcement that Germany has started the invasion of the Soviet Union. This happened on June 22, 1941. A shaven-headed Frenchwoman is being punished for associating with German soldiers in France in 1944. An Italian man is leaving the Julian March as new Italy-Yugoslavia borders are coming into effect. These borders were established by the Treaty of Paris, which happened in September 1947. Night fishing, 1948. A Mongolian shaman in 1909. Dolly Parton, very young and beautiful, in the 1960s. Che Guevara's false passport, showing the disguise he used to enter Bolivia in 1966 to aid the insurgency there. Less than a year later, he would be executed by a CIA-backed militia. Christmas in a German trench, World War I. The mascot of the USS Pennsylvania is amusing some of the sailors. This happened in 1917. Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi is handing out new land deeds to village women. This was part of the land reforms of the White Revolution, which called for the redistribution of land traditionally owned by the clergy. This took place in Iran in the 1960s. The world's first domestic vacuum cleaner looked like something from 1906. This might be a nightmare for every medical student. 3 kittens are cuddling in front of a giant fish tank, and they're eyeing a very large grouper. This was in 1952. The great Lafayette, born Sigmund Neuberger, was a German magician, one of the highest-paid entertainers at the turn of the 20th century. He was killed in a fire during a performance on May 9, 1901 at the Empire Palace Theatre in Edinburgh, Scotland. Washington, D.C., 1931. There's a man, and he's partly in a tank using some kind of breathing apparatus. A woman is fighting with the police. They're trying to stop her from jumping off the second-story ledge of her home. This was in 1942. San Nicola de Crissa, Italy, 1950. The whole family could enjoy the pleasures of a bike ride with inventor Charles Steinlauf's historical machine from the 1930s to the 1940s. Mystery meat, August 1935, meat testing, Prince George County, Maryland. Santa Claus is greeting children in New York City in the year 1900. Jack Albertson, Red Buttons, Ronald Neame, Gene Hackman, Shelley Winters, and Ernest Borgnine are celebrating Hackman's Best Actor Oscar for The French Connection on the set of The Poseidon Adventure. They're all holding their Oscars, and it's around 1972. They're falling from a bridge. This is Boston during the 1930s. During hyperinflation in Germany, workers were paid twice a day, once in the morning and again in the evening. They were also let out of work at lunchtime so they could buy something for themselves with their rapidly depreciating money. A parade of defeated German prisoners of war, captured by Soviet soldiers during Operation Bagration, being paraded and mocked in Moscow in July 1944. An Iron Man of the past wearing a diving suit. The suit's name was Iron Man 2. It had electric charging and pressure protection systems. This was in New York in 1907. April 1942. A diner we don't know who is reading World War II headlines from the Detroit News in a downtown Detroit cafe. The captured submarine SM-UC-5 is getting ready for display in Central Park on Freedom Day in New York in 1917. Icemobile, circa 1905, a Grand Trunk car ferry crossing the Detroit River in winter. Soviet Premier Khrushchev and first Indonesian President Suharto are sharing a smoke in 1960. Dancing on the beach in Toronto, Canada in 1920. Norwegian ethnologist Thor Heyerdahl and his raft, the Kon-Tiki, crossed the Pacific Ocean. Heyerdahl built the boat and sailed it from Peru to Polynesia in 101 days in 1947. Serbian nationalists are taking down a picture of Josip Broz Tito from an engineering school in Belgrade. This was during decommunization in Yugoslavia in 1990. The expiration date has passed. Billy, the elephant at the Los Angeles Zoo, was shot. Old elephants can become uncontrollable, and the zoo staff decided to protect themselves. 1939. It was the first color photograph of Earth, taken in 1967. It's snowy on Capitol Hill in 1943. William and Philip J. Letzinger, two brothers who served in Company D of the 14th Indiana Infantry, strike an interesting pose in front of a photographer's painted backdrop of a Union Army camp. Pearl Harbor in 1900. It was July of 1941. Someone's getting potatoes from a bucket in a potato race. This was part of the 4th of July celebration in Vail, Oregon. July 15, 1931. Two women wearing bathing suits are sharing a snack with a couple of sea lions. This happened during a display in Paris. September 1941, in the occupied Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, a Cossack policeman is capturing a Soviet partisan, and the Hungarian soldiers are amused. A jitterbug competition, December 16, 1939. An American Army officer and a French civilian are sharing a toast amidst the rubble of the town of Saint-Lô. Kids were doing remote learning over the radio from 1937 because of the polio epidemic. It makes me feel weirdly connected to the past. There's a photo of a little boy carrying a newborn lamb. This was taken in Scotland in 1932. Polishing a turtle shell during the 1930s. Armed cowboys, or vaqueanos, are shown during the Contestado War in Brazil, which took place in 1912. If going much further, please take one. Typical Aussie humor is reflected in this sign erected on the El Alamein Road by Australian troops on September 14, 1942. A soldier is with his cat at a camp in Cyprus in the year 1956. Natchez, Mississippi, United States of America, 1947. There are two young, stylish guys. Two seals are playing basketball at the San Diego Zoo around 1950. Russian President Boris Yeltsin and U.S. President Bill Clinton are on the podium during the Victory Parade, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the defeat of Nazi Germany. This happened in Red Square, Moscow on May 9, 1995. A film crew is filming a motorcycle jump over a collapsed bridge around 1980. The shot was taken during the filming of the low-budget movie Biker, starring the famed motorcycle racer Eddie Kidd. Lyudmila Pavlichenko, the most successful female sniper in world history, had 309 confirmed kills during World War II. The picture was taken in 1940. The 1950s, an all-women's hot rod club. It's the Dragette's Hot Rod Club in Kansas City, Kansas. Pub Stop, England, 1974. Florida, around 1903, there was Oliver W., the famous trotting ostrich, from the Florida Ostrich Farm in Jacksonville. Incubators are on display at an exhibition at the World Fair around 1901. The life-saving device was generally credited to Dr. Stéphane Tarnier. It's August 1940. This car belongs to Hepcats on Main Street in Louisville, Kentucky. A street in the Latin Quarter after a night of clashes between students and police. This is Paris, France, in May 1968. Hitler, on the right, during his military service sometime between 1916 and 1919. There's a girl playing with a dog around 1913. This is The Gentleman's Guide to Self-Defense from 1895. South Africa, 1956. Children are splashing in a pond, and there's a sign that says, "For European children only." All right, a radio beach party in 1923. In 1964, Randy Gardner set the world record for the longest time without sleeping, after staying awake 264 hours. Seven-year-old Babe Ruth on the right in 1902. On November 16, 1942, Miss Beth Pitt turned heads in Midtown New York as she casually walked her pet fawn through the streets. New York, 1908. The end of the rampage. Alice the elephant under control and thinking it over. During World War I, a dog named Mercy served. October 14th, 1939. Captain Alice Shanks carrying a football in Powder Bowl at Gunnison, Colorado. An aerial rowboat. From the 1910s in San Francisco comes this young lady and her Zaftig Zeppelin. A girl holds a doll next to soldiers' equipment in Reims, France, 1917. A woman in trousers is smoking a cigarette and looking at a man doing laundry. This was a staged photograph taken during the suffragette movement, when women campaigned for the right to vote. A couple enjoys an old-fashioned zipline, 1923. A trip to Paris. Enthusiastic German soldiers are on their way to the Western Front of World War I in 1914. In Paris Match, 1961. Surprised spectators look on in amazement as Miss Beth Pitt takes her pet fawn, Star Message, for a walk in Midtown New York on November 16, 1942. Technicians load 5 megabytes of memory into a Pan Am aircraft in 1956. Honey, could you bring me some coffee? 1940s. It was a result of a winter fire at the Equitable Building, built in 1870. This happened in Manhattan in 1912. British Royal Air Force members land on the Greek mainland. They share their early morning rations with a little Greek boy during World War II. Men of the 72nd Highlanders and veterans of the Crimean War are in full battle dress around 1854. Dismantled buses became accommodation on Tallacher Beach in the United Kingdom in 1959. Nowadays, Tallacher Beach is a beautiful place, and it's popular with tourists. But it wasn't always like that. Previously, it was called the Slum by the Sea. Michael Caine, the English film actor, is at home with his mother and brother in 1964. Fred Trump, a real estate developer, and his son Donald in New York City, 1970. Officers of the National Woman's Party hold a banner outside of their headquarters in June 1920. The 19th Amendment was passed 2 months later in 1920. Polka-dotted beach pajamas, Deauville, 1930s. Joe Forts, known as Vancouver's first official lifeguard. Originally from Barbados, Joe saved dozens of lives. This is English Bay Beach in Vancouver, Canada, in 1905. During June of 1944, the Allied forces prepared for D-Day. They were getting ready to invade Normandy. There were many men and much equipment involved. The plan was to land troops on the beaches of France and then push inland. So, there's this woman named Granny. She's wearing a red and white dress with some buttons down the front. She's got a blue bonnet on her head and she's holding a shotgun. She's standing in front of a wooden building, and there's some kind of sign above the door. The sign says, "Don't mess with Granny. Don't mess." Here's Einstein's Swiss passport, issued in June of 1923. In 1949, the bedridden French artist Matisse used his apartment in the Hotel Regina in Simiez to prepare designs for the Chapel of Rosary in Vence. The chapel was of similar size. 3 generations of Welsh miners, from Wales in the United Kingdom, in 1950. Mining in Wales was an important source of income for the Welsh economy throughout the 19th century and the early to mid-20th century. The Apollo 13 splashdown happened on April 17, 1970.